It's that time of the week where we answer some of your common health questions. Joining me as always is News Channel 5's medical expert, Dr. David Soria, the Chief of Emergency Medicine at Wellington Regional Medical Center. Nice to see you today.
You too.
I know you've had a busy morning. Listen, one of the viewers writing in and wanting to know a little bit about Legionnaires disease. We've seen it really take its toll in New York City. Our viewer is going there and wants to know how they can prevent from getting it.
Yeah. Well, as we know, it started in the South Bronx, and what they found out was that it started in the cooling towers, the air conditioning units. And, the culprit is Legionellosis is the bacteria. And that's what's found in a lot of these water systems. The CDC has basically said that it is the #1 waterborne disease in the U.S. So the good news of all this is that it's not transmitted person to person, but really prevention is a public health issue because it comes down to how do you get it out? How do you make sure that it's not in these water systems? How do you make sure that it's not in these cooling towers? So really it's really the responsibility is upon us to make sure, A, that we go into buildings that have been reviewed or that are up to par with some of the federal guidelines.
Sure.
And then, of course, making sure that if it isn't, obviously doing everything we can to avoid breathing in that water vapor.
So doing that research before.
Without a doubt.
Celiac disease, that's the next viewer question. What's the best way to prevent it? Is it preventable?
Well, the disease itself is not preventable. It's a genetic disease, and if you have it, you have it. But the symptoms can be prevented by making sure that your diet is up to speed with making sure that you avoid the foods that can cause it. So clearly, celiac disease is avoided by a gluten-free diet. So what you want to avoid is anything with wheat, rye, barley, things with those wheats or grains in it. Oats don't have it, but don't be fooled. There's a lot of other ingredients in some of these foods that can actually have it as well. For example, anything with malt or hydrolyzed vegetable protein. So you got to be real careful as what you look for on the labels. But the good news is that there is healthy alternatives, and so make sure you talk to your doctor as far as what you can eat, what you can't, and what to look for.
I was going to say, nowadays you go to the store, there's so many
really
options that are gluten-free.
A lot of times they're not very tasty. I mean, unfortunately, you got to say goodbye to breads
and pizza. Are
and
you trying to say you can't have your cake and eat it too?
Unfortunately, you can't.
All right, Dr. Soria, if you have a question for him, we invite you to send it in. Go to our website, WPTV.com. Click on the health link. You'll scroll down on the right-hand side. You'll see your form right there to write your question. We look forward to those coming in. Dr. Soria, we'll see you next week.